20 Power BI interview questions and answers. What is Power BI? Microsoft's Power BI is your go-to tool for creating interactive data visualizations and insightful business intelligence reports. It's designed to make it easy for anyone to connect to data, transform it, and create detailed visuals. Power BI includes several components, such as Power BI Desktop for creating reports, Power BI Service for online sharing, and Power BI Mobile for accessing reports on the go. This tool is widely used in businesses to make data-driven decisions and gain valuable insights. What are the main components of Power BI? Power BI has several key components, each serving a different purpose to help you work with data. Power BI Desktop. This is a Windows application where you can make reports by connecting to data sources, transforming data, building data models, and creating visualizations. Power BI Service, an online platform where you can view and share reports and create dashboards. Power BI Mobile, mobile apps for iOS, Android, and Windows that allow you to access and interact with your Power BI reports and dashboards on the go. Power BI Gateway, a tool that allows you to connect on-premises data sources to Power BI Service for scheduled refreshes and live queries. Power BI Report Server, an on-premises report server where you can publish and manage Power BI reports alongside traditional paginated reports. Power BI Report Builder, a tool for authoring paginated reports and publishing them to Power BI Service. Paginated reports are optimized for printing and PDF generation. Power BI Embedded, a service that allows developers to embed Power BI reports and dashboards into their own applications, providing interactive data visualizations to users. How do you connect to data in Power BI? To connect to data in Power BI, you start by using the Get Data feature in Power BI Desktop. This allows you to connect to various data sources like Excel, SQL Server, SharePoint, and more. Once connected, you can either load the data directly to the data model or use Power Query Editor to clean and transform it. This process centralizes your data. It makes the data easier to analyze and visualize. This enhances your data insights and decision-making. What is Power Query? Power Query is a powerful tool in Power BI that helps you connect to various data sources, combine data, and refine it for analysis. Here's what you can do with Power Query. Connect data. Easily connect to a wide range of data sources such as Excel, databases, web pages, and cloud services. Combine data. Merge and append data from different sources to create a unified dataset. Refine data. Clean and transform your data by removing errors, changing data types, filtering rows, and adding custom columns. Power Query in Power BI allows you to connect to various data sources, combine and refine data, making it easy to prepare high-quality data for analysis and visualization. What are the different views available in Power BI Desktop? Power BI Desktop offers 4 different views to help you work with your data. Report View. Create and arrange visuals, such as charts and graphs, to build your reports. You can add, format, and customize visuals to present your data insights effectively. Data View. See the underlying data tables after they are transformed and loaded through Power Query. Inspect, filter, and understand your data before using it in your visuals. You can also create calculated columns in this view. Relationship View. Define and manage the relationships between different data tables. You can create, edit, and visualize relationships to ensure your data model is accurate and well-structured. DAX Query View. Query your data in order to understand it better and validate your measures. DAX queries return data from the model in the form of a table. Use the evaluate statement to specify what and how data is returned in the query. Report View for creating visuals, Data View for inspecting data, and Relationship View for managing relationships inside the model. DAX Query View to return specific data from the model. How do you publish a report in Power BI? To publish a report in Power BI, make sure it's ready and saved in Power BI Desktop. Then, Click Publish and sign into your Power BI account. Next, pick a workspace in Power BI service to upload the report. Alongside the report, you also publish the underlying semantic model, dataset. Once published, you can access your report in Power BI service. Here, you can share it with others, set up scheduled refreshes, and manage permissions. Publishing your report makes it easy to collaborate and ensures everyone has access to the latest data. Publishing and sharing reports in Power BI is done through Power BI service. What are filters in Power BI? Name some. Filters in Power BI are tools that help you refine and focus your data to display specific information. They control what data appears in reports. Power BI offers several types of filters. Visual level filters apply only to the selected visual. Page level filters apply to all the visuals on a specific report page. Report level filters apply to all the visuals across the entire report. Drill-through filters enable users to right-click on a data point on one page or in one report to navigate to a different page or different report with more detailed information. Filters in Power BI control what data appears in reports. What is a calculated column in Power BI? A calculated column in Power BI is a new column you create in your data model using DAX, data analysis expressions, formulas. It performs calculations row by row and adds the results to an existing table. This feature is useful for adding new data fields based on existing data, enhancing your reports and analysis. A calculated column in Power BI uses DAX to add new fields to a table. What is a measure in Power BI? A measure in Power BI is a dynamic calculation created using DAX, data analysis expressions, formulas. Unlike calculated columns, measures are not stored in your data model. Instead, they are calculated on the fly when used in reports. This makes them highly flexible for performing calculations like sums, averages, and more complex aggregations based on the current context of your report. Measures are crucial for dynamic data analysis. For example, you can create a measure to calculate total sales, average sales per region, or year-over-year growth. Then, you can use these in any visual or report. What are the different types of data sources you can connect to in Power BI? Power BI connects to a wide range of data sources, making it versatile for data analysis and visualization. Key data sources include Excel, import data directly from Excel files. SQL Server, connect SQL Server databases for large datasets. SharePoint, integrate data from SharePoint lists and libraries. Azure, access various Azure services like Azure SQL Database and Azure Data Lake. Web data, pull data from websites using APIs. Other databases, connect databases like MySQL, Oracle, and PostgreSQL. Online services, integrate with services like Google Analytics and Salesforce. Flat files, import data from CSV, XML, and JSON files. Fabric OneLake, access all Microsoft data platforms, warehouse, lakehouses, data flows, semantic models, from a single point of entry. What is a fact table and dimension table in Power BI? In Power BI, fact tables and dimension tables are essential components of a data model. Fact table. Definition: contains quantitative data for analysis, such as metrics and measures. Purpose: stores transactional data and numerical values. Example: a sales fact table might include columns like sales ID, product ID, customer ID, date ID, sales amount, and quantity. Dimension table. Definition: contains descriptive information that provides context to the facts. Purpose: describes dimensions like suppliers, products, or customers. Example: a product dimension table might include columns like product ID, product name, category, and supplier. What are the rules regarding dimension tables? In Power BI, dimension tables follow these rules to ensure effective data modeling. Unique keys. Each dimension table needs a unique key to connect with fact tables. Descriptive attributes include attributes that describe data, like names or categories. Denormalization, often denormalize to reduce the number of joins and improve performance. Hierarchies include hierarchies, example year, month, day, for detailed analysis. Consistent granularity, ensure the level of detail matches that of the fact tables. How do you connect a fact table and a dimension table in Power BI? You connect a fact table and a dimension table in Power BI using a key column. Here's how it works. Key column. The key column is a unique identifier present in both the fact table and the dimension table. It links the two tables together. Process. In the Power BI model view, you create a relationship by dragging the key column from the dimension table to the corresponding key column in the fact table. What are the different languages used in Power BI? Power BI uses two main languages. M language. Purpose, used for data transformation in Power Query Editor. Functionality, helps clean, reshape, and prepare data before it's loaded into the data model. DAX, data analysis expressions. Purpose, used for data analysis and creating calculations. Functionality, allows you to create measures, calculated columns, and complex aggregations. To analyze data. What is the easiest method to navigate in Power BI? The easiest method to navigate between different reports in Power BI is by using bookmarks. Bookmarks capture the current state of a report page, including filters, slicers, and visuals. You can then link these bookmarks to buttons or images, making it simple for users to navigate between different report views or pages with just a click. You can also use buttons with predetermined functions, such as Page Navigator, Bookmark Navigator, or a back button, to simplify navigation. What is DAX? DAX or Data Analysis Expressions is a formula language used in Power BI, Excel Power Pivot, and SQL Server Analysis services for data modeling and calculations. Purpose: DAX is designed to perform data analysis and create complex calculations. It is used to create calculated columns, measures, and custom tables within Power BI. Syntax: similar to Excel formulas but more powerful. DAX allows operations like aggregations, filtering, and conditional logic on related tables or relational data. Functions: DAX includes functions for math, statistics, logic, text, and time intelligence, helping you manipulate data and gain insights. Can you give an example of a DAX function? A popular DAX function in Power BI is filter. This function creates a new table with rows that meet specific criteria. Purpose: filter helps you select rows from a table based on a condition. Syntax: filter, table, condition. Example: suppose you have a sales table with date, amount, and region columns. To create a new table with only sales from the West region. West region sales is equal to filter, sales, region, is equal to West. This filters the sales table to include only rows where the region is West. Explain the difference between a calculated column and a measure. In Power BI, calculated columns and measures both create new data, but they serve different purposes. Calculated column. Calculated during data load. Stored in the table like any other column. Best for row-level calculations. Each row in the table gets a value. Use when you want to place the calculated results in a slicer. Example use: adding profit margin for each sale. Measure. Calculated on the fly during query time. Result not stored in the table. Calculated dynamically. Best for aggregations and calculations that depend on the context of the report, like totals or averages. Example use: summing up total sales for a selected time period. Which gives better performance, calculated columns or measures? Measures generally offer better performance than calculated columns in Power BI. Memory usage. Measures use less memory because they are not stored in the data model. Calculated columns are stored and thus consume more memory. Dynamic calculation. Measures are calculated on the fly during query time. This makes them efficient for dynamic and context-sensitive calculations. Calculated columns are computed during data load. This can slow down performance if the dataset is large. Flexibility. Measures adapt to different contexts within reports, providing real-time results based on filters and slicers. Calculated columns, once created, do not change unless the data is refreshed. What are the different types of relationships in Power BI? In Power BI, relationships define how data tables are connected. There are three main types. One-to-one, one-one. Each row in one table is related to one row in another table. Example, linking an employee table to an employee details table where each employee ID is unique in both tables. Generally, it's good practice to merge such tables into a single table. One-to-many, one, asterisk. Each row in one table can be related to multiple rows in another table. Example, linking a customer table to an orders table where each customer can have multiple orders. Many-to-many, asterisk, asterisk. Rows in one table can relate to multiple rows in another table and vice versa. Example, linking a student table to a courses table. Students can enroll in many courses and courses can have many students. How do you create relationships in Power BI? In Power BI Desktop, you can define relationships between tables in two ways. Manually, you can manually create relationships using primary and foreign keys. This involves linking columns from different tables that share common data. Automatically, Power BI can automatically detect and create relationships based on column names and data types. Can you have a table in the model which does not have any relationship with other tables? Yes, you can have a table in the Power BI model that does not have any relationships with other tables. There are two main reasons for using disconnected tables. Parameter tables, used to present parameter values in slicers, allowing users to select different parameters for their analysis, such as different time periods or categories. Placeholder for measures, serve as placeholders for metrics in the user interface. They help organize and display various measures without needing to relate them directly to other data tables. What is row-level security, RLS? Row-level security, RLS, in Power BI restricts data access for specific users. This way, each user sees only the data relevant to them. This feature improves data security by filtering data based on the roles assigned to different users. Thus, only authorized people can access sensitive information. What are the different types of joins in Power BI and their uses? In Power BI, joins are used in Power Query to combine, merge, data from different tables based on a common key. Here are the main types of joins and their uses. Inner join returns only the rows with matching keys in both tables. Ideal for finding data that exists in both tables, such as customers who have made purchases. Left outer join returns all rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. Unmatched rows from the right table will show as null. Useful for keeping all records from the left table, such as listing all employees and their departments, including those not assigned to any department. Right outer join returns all rows from the right table and the matched rows from the left table. Unmatched rows from the left table will show as null. Useful for keeping all records from the right table, such as listing all sales regions and their representatives, including regions without representatives. Full outer join returns all rows when there is a match in either the left or right table. Unmatched rows will show as null from the respective table. Useful for retaining all records from both tables, such as combining customer and order tables to see all customers and orders, including those with no matches. Anti-join returns rows from one table that do not have a match in the other table. Useful for finding unmatched records, such as identifying customers who have not made any purchases. What are the major differences between Power BI and Excel? Power BI and Excel are both used for data analysis, but they have significant differences. Data relationships. Excel supports single-directional relationships, one-to-many. Power BI supports bidirectional relationships for more complex data models. Cross-filtering. Excel does not support bidirectional cross-filtering. Power BI enables bidirectional cross-filtering for interactive reports. Security. Excel limited security features for data access and sharing. Power BI robust security features. This includes row-level security, RLS, to control data access based on user roles. Data import options. Excel primarily uses single import mode. Power BI offers multiple import options, including import mode and direct query for real-time data connectivity. How to set up auto-refresh in Power BI. Auto-refresh can be done using the Power BI service. First, go to the dataset settings in Power BI service. Configure the refresh schedule by setting the frequency, such as daily or weekly. Ensure your data source credentials are correctly entered. Explain the difference between Power BI Desktop and Power BI Service. Power BI Desktop and Power BI Service are essential components of Power BI. They each serve unique purposes. Power BI Desktop, used for creating reports and visualizations locally, allows you to connect to data sources, transform data, and build interactive reports on your computer. It's a free application with robust data modeling and visualization tools. Power BI Service, used for sharing and accessing reports online. A cloud-based service where you can publish reports created in Power BI Desktop, share them, and access them from anywhere. It offers collaboration, dashboards, and data refresh capabilities. What is a Power BI workspace? A Power BI workspace is a collaborative environment. They are used to organize reports, dashboards, semantic models, datasets, and data flows into collections. A workspace owner can control access by assigning workspace roles to other users. It acts as a central hub for team projects and data analysis, enabling collaboration and efficient data management. How do you optimize Power BI reports for performance? To optimize Power BI reports for performance, follow these best practices. Reduce the amount of data. Load to the data model only the columns you require for analysis. Remove unnecessary columns and filter out unnecessary rows. Ensure efficient data models. Design data models with proper relationships and avoid unnecessary columns and tables. Use aggregations. Aggregate data at the source to minimize the data processed by Power BI. Simplify visuals. Use fewer and simpler visuals to reduce rendering time. Optimize DAX calculations. Write efficient DAX formulas and avoid complex calculations on large datasets. Limit direct queries. Use import mode instead of direct query mode when possible to improve performance. Power BI provides several optimization tools. Run the built-in performance analyzer to catch and address any lags before you publish the report. When using direct query, consider query reduction. You can apply it from the Optimization Presets menu. It turns off cross-highlighting and cross-filtering and adds an Apply button to the filter pane. That way the data doesn't reload with every change you make. What is the difference between a slicer and a filter in Power BI? In Power BI, a slicer is an interactive visual tool that lets users filter data on a report page. Slicers can be drop-downs, checkboxes, or buttons. Users click them to filter visuals on the same page. By editing interactions, you can control which visuals are controlled by slicers. By syncing slicers, you can make them active across the report. They are highly interactive and visible to users. Filters, on the other hand, can be set in the background to control what data is included in the report visualizations. Users can change filters from the filter pane unless they're locked. Filters are less prominent and less intuitive compared to slicers. Visual level controls data for a specific visual. Page level affects all visuals on a single report page. Report level applies to all pages in the report, providing broader data control. While slicers are highly interactive and visible to users, filters can be set in the background to control the data without being as prominently displayed in the report visualization. Explain the difference between sum and sunks in DAX. In DAX, both sum and sunks are used for adding up values, but they work in different ways. Sum is used to add all values in a single column. It's straightforward and quick. For example, if you have a column of sales amounts, sum can add up all the sales amounts in that column. Sunks is more flexible. It goes through each row in a table, calculates an expression for each row, and then adds up those results. For example, consider a table with quantity and price columns. Sunks can calculate the total sales by multiplying quantity by price for each row and then adding up those values. What is the purpose of time intelligence functions in Power BI? Time intelligence functions in Power BI simplify analyzing time-based data. They help users calculate and compare data across different periods, such as days, months, quarters, and years. These functions create measures that adjust based on the date context. This makes it easy to track trends, compare current and past performance, and forecast future outcomes. Examples of time intelligence functions. Same period last year returns a table of dates shifted by 1 year back in time from the current date context. Use it as filter inside calculate to return an aggregated value for the previous year. Useful for year-over-year comparisons. Datesit returns a table of dates for the year to date in the current context. Use it inside calculate to return a running total. Or use totalitid for a simpler syntax. Dated shifts dates by a specified number of intervals, days, months, quarters, years, useful for creating custom date ranges. What is a semantic model? A semantic model in Power BI, previously known as a dataset, is the organized structure of underlying data used to build reports and dashboards. It includes tables, relationships, hierarchies, RLS, row-level security, rules, measures, and other calculations. What is the difference between a star schema and a snowflake schema in data modeling? Star schema. A star schema is a type of data model used in databases and data warehouse. It consists of a central fact table that holds measurable data, like sales or revenue. This fact table is linked to many dimension tables. They store attributes like time, products, and customers. This straightforward structure simplifies queries and improves performance by allowing quick data retrieval and easy analysis. Snowflake schema. A snowflake schema, on the other hand, normalizes dimension tables into multiple related tables. This creates a more complex structure compared to a star schema. In this model, dimension tables are broken down into smaller tables. Each contains specific attributes connected through foreign keys. This design reduces data redundancy but increases complexity and can lead to longer query times. What is the purpose of the calculate function in DAX? The calculate function in DAX modifies the filter context of an expression. This enables complex calculations and dynamic aggregations. By changing the filter context, calculate allows you to evaluate an expression based on specific conditions or criteria. What is the user relationship function in DAX? The user relationship function in DAX activates an inactive relationship between two tables for the duration of a calculation. This allows you to use a different relationship than the currently active one in your data model. It is particularly useful when you have multiple relationships between tables and need to specify which one to use for a specific calculation. How do you handle many-to-many relationships in Power BI? Power BI supports direct many-to-many relationships, allowing tables to connect without unique values. However, using this feature can cause issues. Risks of direct many-to-many relationships. Ambiguous results. Undefined relationships can lead to incorrect data in reports. Complexity makes the data model harder to understand and maintain. Complex DAX measures. Handling these relationships may require more complex DAX measures. Performance issues. Complex queries can slow down your reports, especially with large datasets. Recommended approach. Use a bridge table. A bridge table simplifies your data model and ensures accurate analysis. Here's how to set it up. Create a bridge table. This table should contain unique key combinations from the two tables with the many-to-many relationship. Establish relationships. Connect each original table to the bridge table with one-to-many relationships. This resolves the many-to-many issue. What is the difference between values and distinct in DAX? In DAX, values and distinct are used to get unique values, but they work slightly differently. Values returns a single column or table, depending on the input, of unique values, including a blank row for null values. It's useful when you need to consider all unique entries, including blanks. Distinct returns unique values by removing duplicates, but does not include a blank row for null values. What is the purpose of the cross-filter function in DAX? The cross-filter function in DAX modifies the direction of cross-filtering between two related tables. It allows you to control how filters are applied, enabling precise management of data flow between tables. For example, consider two tables with a relationship. Cross-filter can set the cross-filtering direction to one way or both ways, depending on your analysis needs. This is especially handy when you need to pass the filter from the many to the one side of the relationship, such as determining the numbers of customers in different regions. How do you manage dynamic data updates in Power BI? To handle dynamic data updates in Power BI, you can use several methods. Scheduled refreshes. Set up scheduled refreshes in the Power BI service to automatically update your data at specified intervals, like daily or hourly. This keeps your reports up to date with the latest data. Live connections. Use live connections to data sources like SQL Server or Azure Analysis Services. This allows Power BI to query the data source directly, providing real-time data updates without importing data. Real-time data streaming. Implement real-time data streaming to display data as it comes in. Use streaming datasets in Power BI, which can ingest data from sources like Azure Stream Analytics or the Power BI REST API, allowing for dashboards that update in real time. Explain row context and filter context. In DAX, row context and filter context are two key concepts that affect how calculations are performed. Row context. Row context refers to the current row being processed in a table. It applies when DAX functions evaluate each row individually. Example, when adding a calculated column to a sales table to calculate profit, sales amount minus cost, DAX applies the formula to each row separately, which is the row context. Filter context. Filter context is the set of filters applied to data before a calculation. These filters can come from slicers, report filters, or DAX functions like calculate. Example, if a report is filtered to show sales for a specific year, the filter context includes only data for that year. When calculating total sales, it sums only the sales for the selected year, respecting the filter context. What is the difference between append query and merge query in Power BI? In Power BI, append query and merge query are used to combine data, but they work differently. Append query adds rows from one table to another. Use it to stack data from tables with similar structures, such as combining monthly sales tables into one table. Merge query. Combines columns from two tables based on a common key. Use it to join tables by matching rows using a key column, similar to a SQL join. Such as merging a customer table with an orders table based on customer ID. How do you compare last year's numbers to this year's numbers in Power BI? To compare last year's numbers to this year's in Power BI, you can use the DAX function same period last year or dated inside a calculate statement. This shifts the dates back in time to adjust the filter context. Same period last year shifts dates by exactly 1 year, making it ideal for year-over-year comparisons. It's straightforward and easy to use for comparing the same period across different years. Dated offers more flexibility, allowing you to shift dates by various intervals such as days, months, or years. This is useful for comparisons over different time periods, not just yearly. What is the purpose of the what if parameter in Power BI? The what if parameter, now called a numeric range parameter, in Power BI allows users to visualize different scenarios by dynamically changing parameter values. It's ideal for interactive reports, enabling users to see changes in visuals and calculations instantly. This is useful for scenario analysis and forecasting. With the what if parameter, users can simulate different situations. For example, they can adjust sales targets, costs, or other key metrics and see the impact on performance. To create one, select New Parameter from the Modeling tab in Power BI Desktop and choose Numeric Range. Can we have two active relationships between two tables in Power BI? No, you cannot have two active relationships between two tables in Power BI at the same time. Power BI allows only one active relationship between any two tables. However, you can have multiple inactive relationships. These can be activated in specific DAX calculations using the user relationship function. What is a Power BI app? A Power BI app bundles related dashboards and reports. This makes data access and interaction more organized and consistent. It is shared with user groups, ensuring everyone has access to the right data. Packaged content. An app can include one or more dashboards and reports. Sharing. Apps make it easy to share these collections with other users, ensuring they have access to the right data. Navigation. Users can easily navigate through the app to find the specific data they need. This eliminates the need to search through multiple individual reports or dashboards. Updates. When the data or reports within an app are updated, the changes are automatically available to all users of the app. What are data flows in Power BI and some of their benefits? Data flows in Power BI let users create, manage, and reuse data preparation steps across multiple reports and dashboards. Benefits include data reuse. Data flows can be reused in different reports and dashboards, saving time and ensuring consistency. Improved data consistency. They centralize data transformation rules, leading to more accurate and reliable reports. Centralized data management. They simplify governance by storing and managing data in one place, making it easier to maintain quality. Where is data stored in Power BI? In Power BI, data storage depends on the connectivity mode you choose. Import mode. Data is imported into Power BI and stored within the Power BI memory cache dataset itself. Best for smaller datasets or when fast performance is needed, as the data is stored in memory. Direct query mode. Data remains in the source system, and Power BI queries it in real time. Ideal for large datasets or when you need the most current data. Performance can be slower since queries are sent to the original data source. Composite models allow a report to have two or more data connections, including direct query connections or import, in any combination. You can set the storage mode for each table individually in your model. You can choose between import, direct query, and dual. Dual mode combines both import and direct query modes for a single table. The mode used depends on the context. Calculations or measures requiring real-time data will trigger direct query mode. Calculations that can be performed on pre-cached data will use import mode. What is Fabric? Microsoft Fabric is an end-to-end data analytics platform. It integrates various data services and tools into a single, unified experience. Data engineers and admins use the platform to manage and integrate the organization's data infrastructure. It facilitates collaboration between data engineers, data scientists, and business analysts. Power BI is part of Microsoft Fabric. Other services include data engineering, data factory, data science, real-time analytics, data warehouse, and databases. Many Azure products are bundled into Fabric, like Synapse Analytics, Azure Machine Learning, Data Lake Storage, Databricks, and more. It also includes OneLake, which is the centralized storage. It's a single point of entry for all the internal data sources, like OneDrive for data. What is OneLake Data Hub? OneLake Data Hub, formerly Power BI Data Hub, is a shortcut on the Power BI ribbon that lets users find and connect to existing Microsoft Fabric items, such as Power BI semantic models, lakehouses, warehouse, or data marts. OneLake is akin to OneDrive for data, providing integrated cloud storage and a single entry point for all internal data sources.